In this video, we are going to take a look at React Hook Form, not just the basics, but the bit of an advanced way of using it. I am going to hold your hand in getting you to understand, explaining things the best way I know how, so that you can become a senior developer. Let's look at the real application of what we are going to do. In case you might want to know, this is finance.com, my own invoicing platform, which is for free. We are going to simulate a feature like this. Let's go and create a code. As you can see, this doesn't look like a form because a form has got some input and a submit button, but this looks different. This looks like a table. And before you submit this form, you must choose a client, and then you must also choose some line items for the code. As you can see, if you choose something here, the description comes, there is a quantity and there is an amount. And when you increase the quantity, as you can see, the total increases. If you think this is the only thing that increases, wait until I show you that there is also some sort of a subtotal or total of all line items. How do you know that? Let's click here. As you can see, most of us think that forms are just like inputs and submit button. But here we've got some line items, and these line items are infinite line items. You can add as many as you can, and still this form will work properly. Well, as a beginner, you start to think that maybe the developer has used an advanced package that you don't know, or the developer maybe went to UK or has been working for Google. And I'm here to show you or tell you that is not the case. You just need understanding. I am going to show you how to create a form like this using React Hook Form. And the best part of it, I'm going to explain it in plain English, one line at a time. Without wasting time, let's just jump straight into it. So as you can see, this is where we are at the moment, and in our code section, okay, we don't have anything, we don't have this page called code. So let's just quickly go back and create this page called code. In case you see something flickering there, when you have recently logged in, or created an account in this application, it will show a pop-up modal for you to add an account. Once you add an account, then it won't show that modal. Obviously, this code is for beginners. Things are flickering. I'm just helping you to understand things more than just writing production grade code. So let's get into it, guys. So what we want to do here, we want to do something like this, exactly like this, okay? But we want to do it here. Where do we start? Let's start with Zod, okay? In fact, let's start with Prisma. Let's go and look at Prisma, our schema. Let's start by looking at our schema and look at the code, okay? Let's look at the code. As you can see, here is the code. It has got an ID. It has got a user, okay? That means this is a user ID. It has got a client, okay? Who was this code for? Here's the client ID, and it has got an array of items, as you can see, okay? It has got an array of items, and it has got total, okay, which is this is the total of an invoice, okay? And don't mind much about the created at now. So we are starting here because in the end, we need to submit this data here in the end. So we might as well look at how our database is structured and what it's expecting, so that we can give it what it expects. Okay, I hope you get this one. And then from there, based on this, we need to create a Zod schema. Okay, so what we are going to do, we're just going to take this, copy this, and then since this has got something to do with items, we might as well look at item. An item has got an ID, the name, description, and the price. Okay, so let's see this. Okay, so let's just copy this and go to Zod first. Okay, we are going to take this step by step. In case you thought that you don't understand React Hook Form, in this video I'm going to explain that in details. You are going to be a pro. So what we want to do, we want to go to lib folder, and we want to go to schema. Okay, I think by now you understand what a schema is, and it's easy for you to create one. let's just paste this field here. Why are we doing this? Because we want to make sure that we spell these things the right way. Okay, we know that programming is not easy and you might catch some bugs, but that doesn't mean that you must be careless and type things from your mind and have some bugs of capital letters and small letters. At least we are matured for that. That's why I like to copy and paste things. Okay, in addition to the bugs that I'm going to add, which are going to be there because this is coding, I don't want to add unnecessary bugs. Okay, so what type of schema that we are creating? We are creating a quotation. Let's just, okay, code form schema. Okay, we are creating a code for a schema. Sorry, we are creating a schema for a code. Okay, so as much as there is a code section, let's look at this. As much as there is this section, okay, which looks dynamic and interesting, okay, with all its features, selecting things and whatever and yada yada, okay, we must not only be obsessed about this. Okay, in the end, we want to know who was the client for this code, who is the user, okay, who is the user that added this code, and okay. So we don't have to be like heavily obsessed about this. So what does that mean? This means that we need to understand what is going on and what is expected of us. In the end, we need to take this data to the API. Okay, so let's see. The first thing that we want, I just want to check, do we need the ID, the user of an ID which created this? Let's just look at here. Yes, here is the user. Okay, cool. So what we want to do, guys, we want to look at here. We are going to have a user ID, okay? And the user ID is going to be a number. So let's just copy here. Let's copy this. Why are we going to copy this as it is? Simply because this data will go to the same database, and the same database is expecting the structure. So as you can see, is this a string? No, this is a number. Okay, let's just change this to be a number. Minimum of 4? No, I think I'm looking for a minimum of 1 character. Okay, minimum of 1 character. This is going to be a number. Okay, happy with that. Let's go and check the other thing. We've got the user ID as a number. We've got the client ID. Okay, client ID. Let's put the client ID here. Gonna do the same thing. It's gonna be a number. And let me just copy this. Okay, as is minimum. Yeah, the client ID minimum of 1. Let's go and check what else after the client ID. We've got some items, okay, which is some sort of an array. We will come back to that. Let's take the total. After client ID, let's take the total. And the total is just going to be a number, also a minimum of 1, okay? You cannot have some sort of 0 as, what can I say, as a field, or nothing or null, okay? At least minimum of 1 number. Okay, let's continue. So what we want to do now, we want to add items, okay? So let's just continue and copy these items. As you can see, this item is some sort of an array, okay? So we are going to paste these items here, and then we need to type this, okay? So first, let's just type an item without making it an array, okay? So let's do this. Let's say z dot nope. This is not what we want to do. Let's come back here. Okay, let's type here const. Okay, don't we have don't we have a schema of items here? Just a moment, guys. I don't want us to repeat ourselves. Let's look at the schema for items. Item schema. Okay, it's the name, the description, and the price. Okay, remember I said it is very important to understand, are you creating a schema to, what can I say, to send to the database, or you are creating a schema that will deal with the data from the database. Okay, so this is what I meant by that. This schema is fine, but it's missing something. Any data that comes from a database, it comes with an ID, and in this type there is no ID. Okay, the first thing that we have noticed is that we can reuse this schema, okay, which is the best way to think about things. Okay, so let's just go up here. Okay, up until here. Okay, let's just say const let's say item generated schema. Okay, I will explain to you now why this is item generated schema, and this schema has not been created here. It has been created where? Let's see, it has been created item schema. It has been created here, so we might as well take this up here. Okay, let's take it up here. Okay, so as you can see now, this schema has been defined. Okay, so what we want to do, item generated schema, we want to take that schema dot, let's try if we can extend the schema. Okay, let's see if we can extend the schema. Let's first put a z dot object here. Okay, z dot, we get the z. Let's see, let's change z dot array. Okay, first let's do something like this. That dot object, and then let's say to name as string. Oh, sorry, z dot object name into z dot string. Okay, what we are doing here, we are just extending this schema. We are adding name. Okay, obviously this is not what we want to do. We were just testing the syntax to see everything is going to work well. So everything is going to work well. What we want to do here, we want to add an ID, and the ID is going to be number. Okay, so let's just quickly go back and try to explain. The data that will be coming from the code UI being selected as an item. Okay, it will have an item ID. It's necessary because the database needs it. Okay, so it has got an ID. It's different from the schema that was just taking data to an ID. Remember, when you send data like this, an ID will be created in the backend. So the first thing that we did is to extend the schema to add an ID in it. Okay, as you can see, the ID is going to be a number. So let's take the generated schema with an ID. Okay, now let's go back to here and say the type for items. Okay, into the Zod schema type for items and validation. Okay, here don't we need the minimum of a number? Let's say, because there must be something. So let's also validate this minimum of 1 character. Okay, let's validate this as well. Okay, dot minimum 1 character. I'm happy with that. So now we are saying we've got the user ID, we've got the client ID, we've got the total. Total for what? For the code. Okay, remember this is code. Okay, the total for a code. Okay, and then a total, a quotation is made up of items. Okay, so we are saying these items is equal to this. So let's look at this. Okay, we are saying there will be a name, there will be a price, there will be, what else? Let's see, and where is my ID? There will be an ID. Okay, there will be also an ID here, as you can see, as zod.number. So those will be our line items. Okay, but we are not going to have one. Okay, we are going to have many, meaning that we are going to have many line item. So we need to make this an array. Okay, so how do we do that in Zod? Then we type this zod.array. Okay, and then an array of what? An array of this schema. Okay, so now this can be a group of items, okay, because it's an array. I think we are done with Zod. Okay, let's just quickly summarize. We've got an entire code that won't be valid if there is no user ID, because sometimes we want to get code by an ID who created this code. Code are created for a client, and code, they've got some sort of line items, and code have a total. Okay, please note that this total here is not, what can I say, it's not mandatory. Okay, it can be programmatically generated. Okay, but as I continue with the whole series, you will understand why it is here. Okay, it's making my life or our life simpler. So I think we are done with our schema. Okay, let's do this, and let's take this, and let's come back here. We are just copying and pasting. Why we are copying and pasting? Because we are generating a type for this. Okay, so simple. Copy this and paste. This is going to be a type of. Okay, so we are saying generate a TypeScript type from that form schema. So here is the TypeScript type. Okay, this looks presentable. Let me do this. Okay, as we have said, we're going to have an ID, the client ID, the total, and the items. Okay, as you can see, item name, item price, and where is that ID? Where is ID? Zod is patching things here and adding things, but I don't see my ID at the moment. Okay, so okay, this is ID name price, and where is the description? Okay, let's just hope that Zod did what we want, because I wanted to see these things, okay, before we I continue. But there is another way of seeing these things. For instance, let me type const test. Okay, const test is equal to, let me just say empty thing. Okay, and then let's type this as this. Okay, let's type this as this. Let's see, test is declared, but this value is never read. That's not much of a problem. Let's console log it. Okay, dot log. Okay, and then what else? Type is missing the following property. Yes, this is what I wanted to check. So what are the properties that are in this whole structure? Okay, because I didn't see everything then. Okay, so let's look what are the missing. User ID, I'm happy it's a number. Client ID, I'm happy it's a number. Total, it's a number, I'm happy. Items, okay, I'm happy. Let's look what's there in items. The item name, I'm happy. Price as a number. Let's see price as a number. I don't see, even now I don't see the description and the ID. That's fine. Let's now come here and see if we are going to see those. Okay, we've got the client ID, we've got the items, we've got the total, and then let's bang items, and then let's check what do we have here. Okay, I am not happy with this type. Okay, let's say ID or dot items. Okay, or dot items, obviously at a position. Okay, items at 0 since it's an array. Let's go and check again what's there. What I want I want an ID. You see, I'm not happy, I'm not convinced that we've got an ID here. Let's check price. Price is there. Description is there. What about the ID that I've put there? I think ID does not exist. Yes, let's go back and check why our schema didn't really extend the way in which with item generated schema. Okay, so this is item dot extend, and then we added z dot object. Let's see, I think we might have made a mistake here. let's see. What if we can add this only? Okay, my apologies about this. Let's try it like this. As you can see, guys, so as I'm extending, I'm adding this. Okay, this is what I'm adding. So now, as you can see, things are making sense. It's name, description, price, and ID. Okay, let's go back and check. My apologies for this mistake. Let's go back and check where are we console logging. Okay, as you can see now, we've got the ID. Okay, what is this problem is missing? I don't mind about this. Okay, so as you can see, guys, now we've got the ID. I'm happy with this. We've got the description. I'm happy with this. And we've got the name. Okay, so all the what can I say, all the types that we want are now there. Okay, so my apologies about this way of extending. Okay, so you just put this instead. So I'm happy with the Zod validation, and I'm happy with my schema as well. So now let's go to where, to the UI. Okay, let's go to the UI. What we want to do now, we want to go to the root, and in the app and in code. Where is a folder code? There is no folder code here. Let's create it. Okay, and in this folder code, let's create page. Okay, and then let's just type RFCE so that we can get what can I say, a snippet, a code snippet. If you might want this, let me just show you for the second time. Here is this, install this extension. Okay, apologies about this, I didn't mean to click this. Okay, let's close this. As you can see, this is where we are. Okay, we've got this page, very nice. And what do we want to do? Okay, the first thing that we want to do, we want to create a table. Let's start from there. We need to have a table here. What we are going to do, we are just going to have a heading here, H1. It's a heading that will label the table. Okay, let's say and a quotation. Okay, add a quotation. What we will do, we need to style this flex first and then make it a flex column. I'm not going to explain this much. This means that if you put another item here, okay, they must show in a column way. It must show below this, okay, exactly like this. So that's what that means. And then let's just put a gap. Let's put a gap of 8. Okay, so there must be a gap between the heading and the table. So what we want to do now, we want to go to ShadCN and go and get a table. Let's search for ShadCN table. As you can see, guys, here is a ShadCN table. And then what we want to do, we want to install it. Okay, or at least to add it. Okay, let's add a ShadCN table. Terminal, let's add a ShadCN table. I can see my battery is getting low. Let me see if I can change the brightness a little bit to save the battery. Okay. All right, we have done with adding a ShadCN table. What we want to do now, this is going to be copy and paste. What we want, let's start with import. We want the import. Okay, we want to import this. And then we want the invoice constant. Okay. We want this invoice values somewhere here. Best practices, always make your component start with a capital letter. Okay. Done with that. The next thing, this is a server component. So we need to make it a client component by putting here use client. Okay, if you don't put this when you start dealing with hooks in your own component, there will be an error on Next.js. Okay, so let's continue. Let's go back here. Here on return, let's just copy this table as it is. Copy this table as it is. We said we're going to put it here, and there is no error. Let's just go back here and see. I was hoping this. Oh, we are not in the code. Let's go back here and click here. Okay, as you can see now, it's some sort of compiling. I'm expecting a label with a table here, and then we will take it from there. I hope you are still learning. So far, I hope you're still learning. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also come and sign up here on finance.com. Okay. Okay. So let's continue. I'm just going to add a little bit of padding. Okay, let's say padding of 8 and see. Okay, I'm happy with this at least. Okay, so this is our table. Okay, so what do we want to do in this table? In this table, we want to add our own table headers. Okay, let's look at what our own table headers. We're going to have items here. Okay, this is where we're going to pick an item, and then we're going to have a description, we're going to have a quantity, and we're going to have total. Let's quickly do that. Okay, where is list of what? Okay, it's here. Don't mind much about that. So let's see. We don't need this caption, or let's leave it like that. Let's go to headers. We need item. Okay, we need an item, and then we need a description. We need a description. We need quantity, and then we need total. Okay, we need total. Let's go back and see. Item, description, quantity, and total. We don't have price. Okay, my apologies about that. Let's see. Let's add a price somewhere here. Okay. We need to add a price. Let's look at what Tailwind is saying. Tailwind is telling us that if you use W-25, this will achieve the same thing. Let's quickly do that. Okay, so let's go back and verify item, description, price, quantity, and total. I'm happy with this. Do we need this data? Believe me, we don't. We only just need one for testing. Okay, we only need one for testing. Oops. Looks like I just moved the wrong thing. Okay, let's check. This is a table row. Okay, it has got its own cells. Let's see. Let's just comment it for now. Okay, let's see. Okay, see. Let's just comment everything here. All right. Okay. We've got this. Where is this coming from? Okay, guys, let's just leave this like this. Let's continue with our lives. Okay, so what we want to do here, we want to have an item. Okay, and we want to have a row. Let's say we want to have a row, not necessarily an item, but a row. And when we click add in this row, okay, there must be a default row here. When we click add here, there must be another row. Okay, I hope you do get that. That's what we are going to do now. Okay, so let's just go back here and do this. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do, let's just go where there is some sort of a footer here. Must I use a footer or table caption? Let's check here. Table footer. In table footer, there is a row with a total. Let's remove this table row and let's add a button. Okay, let's add a button from CN. This button is going to be add. Let's import it from CN. Okay. Okay, let's check here. As you can see now, we've got this button. It's not in the center. Okay, it's not in the center. I'm assuming that we didn't put it inside a row. Let's just put it inside a row. Okay, my apologies about that, because now it's not centered in a way. From CN, we might as well put a class name here, BG Green. Okay, BG Green, and the text is supposed to be white. Okay, let's just go back and see. It's still not in the center. Okay, it's nothing to write a story about as long as it works for now. Okay, and then what I want to do, okay, let's see. Now what I want to do, let's get into React hook form. Okay, I don't think I need these invoices. I don't think I need these invoices. Let me go back here. Yeah, I don't think I need these invoices. Let me just remove them. Okay, and then comment anything that will want to use the invoice. Okay, this wants to use an invoice. This is a table row. Let me just create my own table row. Okay, somewhere here. Let's create my own table row and then type here test. And that is it. Do we need this? No. Okay, let's go back and see. Okay, as you can see, we've got test here. Okay, don't mind about any other thing. So let's go to React hook form. So what we want to do here, we want to const. We are going to destructure, and then we are going to use form from React hook form. Okay, what we want from React hook form, do we really want reset? Yes, let's see. Reset, we want reset, we want register. We want register, we want set values. We want set value. We want watch. We are going to watch for some values. In terms of the errors, we don't really need errors. Okay, I'm happy with this. And then with React hook form, what can I say? Now we are creating a form, guys. Okay, as much as this form is not going to be your default form with like your obvious input, but this is the part that actually is a form. I hope you do get that. And then what we want to do here, we want to use a React hook form hook, okay, which is, let's destructure here. It's use array, use field array. Okay, let's import it. Why are we going to use this use form array? This is, let's import it. Okay, it needs its own values. Okay, fine. The reason why we are using it, it is the one that is going to help us when we are adding here. It will create a row. Okay, so let's minimize here. So what it needs first, it needs the control. Where it gets that control, it gets the control from React hook form. So let's just type here a control. Okay, and then what it wants the name. Okay, I will tell you now this. Okay, is it item or item? For now, let's put items. Okay, so this use field array and React hook form, they are working hand in hand. Okay, what does this mean? This field array just simply means that the React hook form will have a field that will have an array of things. I want to know what is that field. In my case, that field is item. Okay, let's call it items. Okay, so think of it like that for now. So this part is only responsible for that field that has got an array of things. Okay, and we know that is going to be an array of items. So what do we get from this guy? Okay, this guy will supply us with append. Okay, not add, sorry, append. When we want to remove a field, what else does it gives us? It's append, remove, and it will give us a list of fields. Okay, a list of fields. Okay, so let's end here for now, and then let's look at our TypeScript. Okay, let's look at our TypeScript. We need to tell this guy, this form. Okay, we need to tell it about its structure. Okay, I think we've got its structure from Zod. Okay, I just forgot that structure. Let's just go back here and look at schema. We created that structure recently. Where is it? I think it's called schema. I think it's called, was it a structure? Yes, 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 yes. We want a type. Okay, so this is what we want. Our form will have an ID, the client, the total, and a list of items. This is exactly what we want. We are telling it that you are going to be this form. Okay, you are going to have this type. Okay, let me import this. Now that these have a type, okay, if maybe there was something wrong here without items, as you can see, it was going to complain. So this means that this item goes hand in hand with this one. Okay, as you can see, this is an item that is going to be an array of things, and use field array is responsible for that. So what connects this to React hook form? It's only that array of field. As you can see, this is array of field. So memorize it like that. This is only here because of that array. If that field was not here, we were not going to have that. Clear? Clear. Let's continue. I hope you are subscribing. Okay, so let's continue. Now what we want to do, we want to use this append. Let's just use this append. Okay, um let's go to where we've got add. Let's say on click. Okay, on click we are going to create a function that will append. Okay, dot append. And then if let's say we are appending, meaning that we are adding a row here, what will that row have? For me, based on this table, that row is supposed, or table header, that row is supposed to have an item, description, price, and quantity. Total is going to be a calculated value. So when you are here, think of appending a row, okay, for the, what can I say, a row for that key that has got an array of item. Let's say here, test, okay, this is us. We are adding a row, description, yes, price, okay, 5. What else does it need? ID. Suppose now this will work. Okay, let's test something. Okay, even though there is nothing that will happen, let's test when we click add here. Nothing happens. Okay, why? Simply because React hook form is not integrated with the table, is not aware of the table. The table is not changing its structure and its shape according to React hook form. There is no link in between. Okay, we've just have a form. Here is a form. It talks to its array component or functionality, but both of them, they don't interact with what? With the table. So let's make these interact with the table. Now, which mechanism in React hook form and use array field that is responsible for an array of item? It is obvious to me, it's this guy. So in this guy, we want to check the fields because this guy knows how many fields do we have. What do I mean? How many rows do we have? If there is no row, this is the guy who knows. Okay, so let's take this guy as an array. We want to repeat this guy. Okay, we want to somewhat repeat this guy. Are we going to repeat this guy in a row level or in a cell level? Since this guy represent an array of items, those items are a row. Okay, it's more like line items, rows. So let's use this guy. Okay, let's repeat this guy. Okay, in a row level. Where is our row? Here. Remember, we created our own row. Here is it. Okay, so in this row level, we are going to create a loop. Okay, to loop through all these fields. Let's use map. create an arrow function. Okay, in fact, if we've got a simple row here, what we can do, we can just come here and paste this. Okay, let's see what will happen then after this. Now we've got two test row. Okay, now that these rows are connected to adding, let's see when we add another one. As you can see, guys, now we are starting to add the rows. Okay, but we are not subtracting them. We don't have a way of deleting them. So let's go back here and summarize. I know this can be tricky, it can be difficult. Let's go and summarize. Okay, we created a type. This was a type of the entire form. This has got nothing to do with items because item is part of the form. Think of it that way. Where is that type? Let's look at our form. User ID, client, total, and items. Are you happy with this? Happy. This is simple and straightforward. Instead, we've created this with Zod instead of just creating this type. If you want, you can just create this type as it is. Everything is going to work. We take that form type and we inform our form. Okay, as you can see, our form has got everything. Okay, our form has got everything. Okay, as you can see, our form has got everything. We are informing it to say that this is the structure of our form and we've got an array. Because React Hook form has got a way of dealing with arrays of object, we are now using this array of object. This guy knows how many rows do we have, and when we are deleting rows, it can give us a function to delete rows. Okay, let's just make it simple example on test. Where is our test? Where is our test? We are looping here and we're adding test. Let's say we've got an on click here. Do we have it? Yes. So on click, let's add remove, and then we will need some sort of a number here. For now, let me just use 3. Okay, this is telling me that there is no function here. Not a problem. Let's add a function. Okay, before we do this. So that means we are going to remove an item. When we click on any item, we are going to remove an item on number 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's look at that. As you can see, items at number 3 is being removed. Okay, it's always being removed. As you can see now, we've got only left with 3. So I hope you get that. So this guy helps us to add and remove rows in this item. Okay, what links these two guys? Okay, what links these two guys? Let's look at this. This guy gives us the controller. Okay, this guy gives us a controller. We put this controller here, this control here. Okay, if you want, you can put this control and then put control here. This is a key and a field, but in JavaScript you can just put this one. Okay, it means the same thing. So this connect this guy to this. Now after that, which field are we controlling? You have to tell it we are controlling items, and items has got an array. I think this is clear enough. Because of the battery, what we are going to do now, we are going to create a realistic row. Okay, how we're going to do that? Let's go to place where there is test. Where is that test? I apologize about this. Matthew is getting old and he cannot see obvious things. Here is it. Okay, where there is test, we don't really need this function here. Okay, my apologies about that. Let's just remove this function. Where there is test, now let's do things the proper way. Let's go to the map. In a map, we can have the item where we are looping from, and we can have an index. An index will always be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we've got 5 items here, we've got 0 to 4 here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That makes us 5 items, but the index starts from 0. In items, we get these items that we are adding here. These items, we get them. Okay, so let's start by doing this. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Now that we've got a table row, don't we need some table cells? I think so. Okay, but let's check. Yeah, we need some table cells. Let's see how ShadCN label those table cell. Okay. Okay. So in table cell 1, we are going to have an item, but dot what? Remember, we don't have an ID here, or we don't need it in a way. Dot name, that's the cell we want. That's the first one. And then on the second one, let's just also put the third one and the fourth one. On the second one, we want the description, dot description. On the other one, we want a cell dot price. Okay. In terms of quantity, that is what we will put on our own. Okay, that we will put on our own. So now that we've got this, let's just quickly check how this looks like. As you can see, this is starting to be meaningful. We've got this test, as you can see. Okay, every time we add this, we are adding the same thing. Where is this same thing coming from? Remember, where is that add? Where is that button? Here is it, that button. Okay, add. We use this append, and let's say logo now. Okay, description, logo design. I want you to get this picture, and then the quantity, it's 9. Okay, let's click save. Let's go back here and let's add. As you can see now, it's adding logo design and it's adding 9 here. Okay, now what we want to do in this table, we forgot something. We forgot action here because we want to delete these rows, but we don't have a way. Let's go back here on table. After total, okay, let's add action. Okay, let's remove this text align. Okay, we don't want to align text to the right now. Everything must be in the center, and let's add action here. Okay, let's see what will happen. As you can see now, we've got action here. This is in the center. We want to add a button here like this one. Instead of adding, it will help us to remove. So let's go back to where, let's check that button. Take it as it is. Okay, let's take it as it is. And then inside the, let's see, we're missing quantity, total, and action. Okay, let's go to the cell. Where are our cells? Okay, let's add a table cell. Table cell. This table cell will have this button, but it's the last one. So what we want to do in this table cell, we want to add quantity and total. Okay, for now, quantity is just going to be 1. Total is going to be 0. Okay, I'm just putting these for the sake of getting things done. As you can see now, I'm happy. Quantity is under quantity, total is under total, and we've got this add. Okay, we don't want this button to be add, and for that matter, it's not going to use this, it's going to use remove. Okay, so if it's going to remove an item, how is it going to know which item to remove? As we are looping here, fields know that this is item 0 at position 0, at position 1, at position 3. We can take this index and put it here. This will know that when I was adding you, I've put 0 here. When I'm adding the second one, I've put 1. So if you are removing at 1, I will remove the correct item, okay, the correct row. In fact, this is misleading and confusing. Let's just put red here and let's just put remove. Oh, delete. Let's go back here, as you can see. So let's delete the rows. Interesting, right? Okay, let's add. Let's remove. Okay. So what we want to do now, we want to continue, but we are running out of battery. 23%, it's still a lot of time. Okay, so let's continue, guys, and try to be quick. So we are here, we can add these and delete these. Okay, so what else do we want to do now? Okay, let's just look at what we can do. Is it right to have a quantity of 1 here? Nope, it's not right. Okay, it's not right. Also, I think in terms of typing, there is something that we've missed in terms of typing, because our types do not have quantity and total. Okay, let's see here. Let's see here. Let's say I wanted to add quantity and total here. Let's see. I think our typing might have missed something. These types don't have quantity and total. Okay. So we need it because it's part of the form. Okay, it's part of the form. Okay, so let's go back here and quickly fix our typing. How does this guy knows its own types? Where do you infer your own types? You are part of the query and you infer your own types here. Okay, here. Let's see, am I correct? Form code schema. Okay, here's an item. Yes, there's an item name, description, and an ID. Okay, let's go to where we were adding an ID on the schema. Where are we extending? Okay, where are we extending? Let's see, generated, extend. We need to add here, okay, because we need it. We need to add as well the quantity and total because they are part of the form. Okay, you will see what is important about those. Okay, as much as maybe those are not going to get to the database, but they are important. Okay, because the UI of the form needs those. Okay, so now if you don't have them, we will fail TypeScript. Okay, so we need an ID, we need quantity, we need total. All these are numbers. I'm happy with this totals at number. Okay, so let's go back and see now. Can we have the totals in terms of we wanted to add the total here, in fact the quantity. Okay, as you can see, quantity is here. TypeScript is not complaining. Okay, it might happen in terms of the actual value, it's not there. Okay, it might happen the quantity is not there, but as long as TypeScript is happy for now. Okay, total, remember this was our total. Okay, so now let's make sure that the total is there. Let's go and check on add. Okay, this is complaining because it doesn't have the total, and let's put the quantity. Okay, TypeScript was happy, but now this wants something there. Let's put the total. Let's say the total of 100. Okay, let's go back and check. Okay, as you can see, we can remove all of these and let's check when we are adding. Now we are adding a logo, a price, the quantity, and a total. I'm happy with this. Okay, this somewhat makes sense. Okay, so maybe what we can do, let's move this button to this place. Okay, so that it could be centered and it could be in the middle. So where is our add button? Go to our add, sorry, not table, add button. It ends here. Remove this row on the footer. Let's go to where that sentence is. Paste it here. I'm happy with this. Okay, makes a lot of sense. So as you can see, guys, we are winning. I hope you have subscribed. Please don't forget, I've got finance here. As you can see, we've got 342 users and 104 companies. If you might want to see those companies, you can just go and visit Marketplace and you can see all the companies that are here in finance. Some of them, they deactivated the marketplace, and some of them, they are not eligible for marketplace. That's why you see 95 users. Please check the link in the description below. Let's continue, guys. Okay, the first thing that we want to do in terms of item, we are going to select the item, what can I say, from the database, okay, or from a list, not like this. Let's quickly do that. Let's look for a component called select in what guys, remind me, in ShadCN. Okay, where is the S alphabet? Matthew is getting old. Okay, so how are we going to do this? Let's just look for installation. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to be a little bit quicker. Why am I going to be a little bit quicker? Because my battery is dying, and if you don't get things, I'm hoping or assuming you can come back and watch it again. Okay, because some other things are so obvious, like copying and pasting this. Okay, this is so obvious. Okay, so let's check the import first. I don't think we need this import react from react. Okay, so as you can see, so now we need to import or to copy this select. Okay, my apologies for shard cn's multi or um, a lot of children in their component. Okay, they make the code longer and ambiguous or not easy to understand. Let's continue. Where there is a cell for name, we are not going to get the name from here. Let's try to put a select inside this name and see what will happen. Let's go back here. Let's add. As you can see now, we've got a select under this name. But this select does nothing. Okay, it does nothing, guys. Okay, so what we want to do, we've spoken about a lot of things, except the fact that how do we dynamically change these guys? Okay, these guys need to change according to the selected thing. Okay, according to the selected item. The first thing that we're going to do in trying to help you wrap your head around React Hook Form, when I click in this item, I want to display in the description that item. Let's attempt to do that. So let's look at what can I say? Let's look at the select. Okay, here is the select. The select, I think it has got on change somewhere here, on value change. Okay, the value change always receives, okay, always receives the value here, the selected value. Okay, where is that selected value? Let me just alert it. Okay, okay, we're going to take things step by step so that you can understand this. Okay, I'll always make some small experiment. Grapes, pineapple. Where is this value coming from? Let me show you. When you are adding a select item, you add a label. This is not the label. This is the apple. Okay, this is the apple. Okay, this is the one that is a value. Let's go back here and check. Apple. As you can see, apple. Okay, now I want you to understand that it's this value. Okay, so now what we want to do with this value, okay, with this value, this value, we want to manipulate the description. Okay, we want to create some sort of a relationship. Okay, the relationship between this and this. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to remove this select and save. So now let's think like engineers. How are we going to do this? Let's go back and see how are we adding this. We are looking at item.quantity and item.total and item.description. Where is this item coming from? Let's just go back and see. Okay, this item is coming from field. Okay, number one, this is wrong. Okay, it was right before. Okay, and I did it intentionally so that you can understand now we need to switch things. Why now this is not applying? Okay, look at it this way. This field has got limited knowledge about what is going on here. Okay, let's look at how it's been declared. Okay, or where is it coming from? It's coming from use field array. Okay, use field array. This use field array only tackles the items, what can I say, array. Okay, and in the items array, okay, it only knows about this. Let me show you. I want to show you where is the add. Okay, this is delete. Where is the add? Oh, it's here, it's on top. Okay, it only knows about this. You see this? Where is the on click of this? It only knows about the initial added values. Fields only knows about logo, description, price. Okay, which now in real life these are going to be 0. The ID doesn't matter, guys. Okay, I will tell you later why it doesn't matter. This one is going to be 0 and the total is going to be 0. So field is only aware of this. Okay, when you edit, it's only aware of this. Okay, it's not aware of the dynamically changing things. Okay, let me put this into perspective. Field only knows this data only, and it's locked in knowing this. Okay, so if we are going to use it, okay, it's not aware of any other thing. Okay, so meaning that using field here, it's wrong. Okay, let's go back and check. Remember, field is a mechanism to only manipulate certain thing. It's not responsible for understanding the entire form. Use form is a genius in is the mother genius that understands everything. So field is only responsible for knowing there is a row here. And for me, I only know this row when I'm initializing it, putting the zeros here. And that's the only thing I know. And I know how to delete it. I know when to add the rows. But when I'm adding, I'm only adding the default values. Don't concern me with dynamic things. That is not my duty. I am not designed to do that or create that or even deal with it. So now fields is limited. With that being said, this means that now fields can help us in looping and adding rows and deleting rows. It's very brilliant on that. But on knowing what has been done and with who, with what, it doesn't. Who knows that? Let's get into that. So what we are going to do, we need, let's check. Let's see. We need to go back to React hook form and see what are we going to use. Who knows about that? Let's see. This is set value. This is register. What else? Okay, maybe the first thing we need to do. Let's go back and check here. For description, this is a label. This data is as is. For price, this is a label. This data is as is. For quantity, this is a label. Let's look at quantity. Is quantity going to stay like this, or it needs to be some sort of an input where we can, what can I say, move it up and down and even change it? So I was just bringing your mind into the fact that these are supposed to be inputs, okay, not just labels. Okay, why? Simply because React hook forms integrate well with inputs. Let's go and do that first. Okay, React hook form manipulates input data. Okay, when input data changes, React hook form can understand that. But if we are going to display data like this, like labels, React hook form doesn't deals with label. Okay, let's go back here. Where is the description? Now let's make the description. As you can see, at first, since it was a label, we took item.description, item that was coming from field. We are saying we are dumping field in terms of dynamically rendering data. The data that is going to change dynamically, fields doesn't know more about it. So now we will need an input here. Okay, this is the first way in which, what do I want to do? I want to put an input. Okay. An input is a self-closing tag. So we are saying that we are linking the cells to React hook form through what? Through, let's say, okay, through register. So if this is an input, check here, guys. If this is an input, we are going to register, okay? Going to take React hook form, register, okay, and register, spread register. What do we want to register in here? Somebody might feel like, my apologies, I'm sneezing. Somebody might feel like we need to put something like ID here. Okay, this is 4 things, not 3. So this is how you spread. Somebody might look, okay, we can spread an ID here. Nope, that's not how we're going to do it. Somebody might say we can spread a user ID. Nope. Why is somebody going to do that? Because he's thinking like a normal React hook form application. Okay, the normal one. For instance, if you look at this, we've got a user ID here. So usually these are the fields that you register in forms. Okay, people are not used to this. Okay, so you are going to take this user and put it here. So meaning that in that user ID, you are going to punch the user ID. Okay, This is what people are used to. That is not what we want, okay? Because this input, okay, this register input, we want to register not what is in the top level. Let's go back here. Not what is in the top level, what you are used to. Not user ID, not client ID, not total. We want to get inside items, and inside items we've got some arrays. We need to make sure that as these rows are going to be duplicated, we need to differentiate between the item name at position 0 and position 10. So meaning that this is not as easy as you are used to. Let's go back and register. So this registration, it's a bit different. It uses a string template. Now, as you can see, now that we've got these strings template, what has got the array is an item. And then we need to bang. And then banging in this item, we want to tell it which index in those items. This is what we're going to do, as we might have indicated that if you want to uniquely identify the rows, you use index, just like in remove. We can trust index here as an integer that will tell us specifically the selected row. And then it doesn't end there. We need to bang. And then what have I done wrong? Let's see. We get an item, okay, and the item at position 0, let's say. And then from there, which field is this? This field was for name, and then we can type here name. As you can see, what if maybe we can cheat this, thinking that we can dodge TypeScript? Let's say name 0. It's telling us that there is nothing called name 0 here. So this is still, guys, we are supposed to stop. Okay, so this is still bulletproof. Okay, it wants name, description, price, ID, quantity, or total. What I'm going to do now, I'm just going to pause the video and move to my workstation where there is power, and I'm just going to continue from there. I'm not going to cut this video, so let me just pause. I will be back now.